Hello, this is Layman's reaction to Jimi Hendrix. This is going to be a little bit different. I've reacted to him singing Purple Haze. This is kind of a behind the scenes for that song. I thought it'd be interesting. Let's listen. Yes, this is one of my favorites from him also. Uh, that one and All Along the Watchtower. Okay.
I was in London in 1967 at Olympic Studios, and we were the new, cool, independent studio, and everybody wanted to use us. And I guess Chas Chandler had heard about Olympic, and he was a bit unhappy with where he'd been recording previously with Jimmy, and wanted a new, fresh start.
We started off, the first studio we went in with Jimmy was Delane Lee, which was a small studio in Holborn with a bank above it and had one of the first computerized systems, and every time we started playing in there, we had trouble with the computers in the bank, so I had to find somewhere else where I could make a noise.
Came and saw the studio and really loved it, and we started working very early, I think in January of '67. The first track we worked on was Purple Haze, and it's a track that had originally been recorded by Chas and Jimmy, but it needed more work. We needed some overdubs, and so what I'm going to play you is Purple Haze, the final 4/4. That's Jimmy's
things just don't seem the same.
This is Jimmy's lead voice,
But I don't know why.
with EQ and compression and reverb already printed, which would make my job a lot easier in the mixing stage, because we had to do these things in order to A, save time, and B, we just didn't have the facility to do all the tricks of the trade later.
The great asset of Olympic was it seems if you could play louder than other studios I'd been in. It had a big studio floor. It was an old cinema. The control room had a sort of, it was like a small desk, but it was like a wraparound desk. So you weren't stretched. You didn't have arms 6 foot long to reach buttons. It was all around you.
Drums and bass, that's Mitch Mitchell. And Noel Redding on bass.
Olympic was a really inspired choice. It was, I mean, the traffic was not too bad. It was great to get to. It was just that bit outside London. It was always like it was a comfort zone.
I like that they introduced a drummer and the bass. That song, Purple Haze, it's just great. That man's a genius.
That bit outside London. It was always like it was a comfort zone.
And here comes that high octave part that Jimmy was so cleverly put together. With the choir in the background. Mitch Nolan And Jimmy. Which is not really heard that often.
Well, we heard it today. Man. Sometimes it's kind of neat to get some background on different songs and artists, and got a little bit on this one. I've heard where they've taken like just the vocal and stripped away the instruments, or they've done different things so that you could hear different aspects of a singer, or the way it's presented or whatever. That's kind of neat the way they do that. Sometimes when they strip away the instruments and you just hear his vocal, or an artist's vocal, it doesn't quite sound the way you expect it to. That's kind of interesting as well, because you're so used to having it with the music, and it just flows together. Anyways, I like this. I'll put the link to the reaction I did to Purple Haze in the comments, or description, in the description. I like this. Hope you all did. Feel free to comment, subscribe, hit that like button.